Hey friends, welcome back to the channel with more Brooklyn Nine-Nine. This is Season 8, Episode 6. We just wrapped up a Doug Judy episode in which Jake basically helped Doug Judy break out of prison. So I wonder if he's going to carry that with him, if he's going to feel guilty, or if it's just something we're going to move on from. But he's got to keep that to himself for the rest of his life. He can't tell anybody. He can't tell his soul because Amy's a narc, right? You guys remember that? But excited to see where this continues to go. If you want to watch the full reaction, check out Patreon in the link in the description below. Otherwise, take a quick moment to leave a like and let's get started.
Oh my god, a bomb on a bus. It's a speed? I get to work a speed?
A
That
speed.
sentence is nonsensical. One can work with speed, but one certainly cannot
The movie.
work a speed.
Speed is a movie. I won't let you ruin this.
It's already been diffused.
Oh, well, there's still a bomber on the loose. You can't ruin this. All right, tell me about the bus.
A marvelous Mrs. Maisel tour bus.
No, you're not ruining this.
You're not a part of it.
Oh man.
You ruined it.
Ruined it.
Our guys were on the scene first. We're not going to let you take the case. Tell them, sir.
We're letting you take the case.
What? But I said that's so cool.
They have federal
Fans, they have
jurisdiction.
Agent Feingold, call me if you need anything.
Just got a gut feeling there's more to this.
You know what your gut tells you to do most of the time? Take a dump. And you just took a big one all over yourself.
Wow.
Okay, well, I don't have a comeback for that, so I'm just going to go.
You owe it to Cagney and Lacey.
Please don't bring the kids into this.
The kids are part of it whether you like it or not. Who you buying from? Tell me, now!
The other man, it's me. Nicolaj is selling candy.
Oh.
Came here to reach a truce with you over your pilot program that persecutes the uniformed officers in my union.
Its aim is to reduce instances in which armed cops are needlessly interacting with civilians. It could save lives and restore trust with the community.
It's persecution, plain and simple, but I don't want to fight with you. You're going to be sorry.
Are you threatening me?
No,
Sounds
I'm
like
informing
it.
you that I hold a lot of power, and unless you're willing to play ball with
That's
me,
a
I
threat.
will wield said power against you. Again,
That's a
not
threat.
But go ahead and change your mind, or else. All the best.
So you're off speed.
Ugh.
Sucks. At least you didn't have it.
What if you wanted it to go off at midnight? I've got a speed again.
I thought you said you didn't care about it being a speed.
Of course I care about it being a speed. That's all I care about.
Really?
Money for this.
Good one, Rosa.
Good one, Rosa. Oh no.
Marzipan gave me the lat's address. He's actually helping me out because of our intimate shorthand.
You know, Marzipan's
Marzipan.
kind of a bad dude. We're desperately trying to fire him.
No, I did
Really?
not know that. My PD. Might have asked you a couple questions.
He's running.
No, stop! Hey there. Someone call her the big dog.
Woof, woof, Peralta.
Woof,
You
woof.
made an arrest in the bus bombing?
Yes.
Feds already solved the case.
I arrested an innocent person?
Yes.
Oh. That's not okay. I'm cool. 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 You're not mad. You're just disappointed.
So he's
I'm
mad.
actually both mad and disappointed.
What? You can't be both. You're either mad dad or sad dad. Pick a lane. All right, look, I know that I brought in the wrong guy.
He was in processing for 10 hours, which made him late for work, which meant he got fired. He's suing you and the department for wrongful arrest. I'm gonna have to suspend you.
I'm here to protect Marzipan.
Marzipan, with all
He
these
didn't
open
know.
IA investigations
He
against
didn't
him.
know.
Like one time. I don't even know his first name.
His name is David. David Duke Marzipan.
David Duke?
Hey, don't you go profiling him for what he changed his name to. You can't.
For
judge a
what he
book
changed
by
his
its
name
cover.
You
to.
can if it's written by David Duke.
Look, Peralta made a mistake
Holy crap. Why'd the perp run away unless he was guilty of something?
because he was understandably scared of interacting with the cops.
I see. Well, that excuse hasn't worked in the last 15 cases against Marzipan. I don't think it'll work now.
15?
Peralta, I can make all of this disappear.
This whole thing is a setup.
Oh, who could take a
Huh.
sunrise?
Sprinkle it with dew. I actually know this song. Looked it up like 3 days ago.
And the box is full of sand, or maybe it's sugar.
Oh, it's not sugar, it's sand. Is this some sort of sick joke?
There was candy in there earlier. Maybe it fell out.
I don't want excuses, bitch. I want my candy.
He threatened her, not you.
We're married. We're a team.
Really? What about when I wanted to run a half marathon together and you told me to rot in hell?
That was clearly a playful joke.
So will you run the half marathon with me?
No, I would die. Look, O'Sullivan said he could make my suspension go away.
I
if
would
just
die.
Played ball.
I wouldn't put it past O'Sullivan. He is desperate to kill our reform program.
True. He tried to blackmail me before.
If you don't give me what I want, I will release proof that you are a homosexual.
I came out 30 years ago.
You're impossible.
So you agree it was a setup? I have your unbridled support.
That dude sucks. He tried to blackmail me.
If you don't stop harassing my officers, I will release proof that you are bisexual.
Already came out.
Oh, come on. You can't blackmail anyone anymore.
So here's the plan. O'Sullivan likes to do deals
He's the
with
worst.
chicks. I also nod along as he kind of implies he wishes his mom was his wife.
Nobody spoons like my mom.
But I'm not the only one who's listening.
Wow.
I'm so hammered.
Amy.
And that is why Christy
Amy.
Snobs is the best Babysitters Club book ever. Hey!
I love Babysitter's Club.
Here's what we're gonna do.
Whoa, slap her.
What makes Christy and the Snobs so good is the snobs. Their names are Tiffany and Sharon, and they laugh at Louis. You know how guys like O'Sullivan, they think we all look the same, right? So you dress as Zayn,
Really?
you take my place, and oh my God, is 9 Drink Amy a genius?
That's never gonna work.
9 Drink.
So
What's going on here?
nothing.
Nothing. I distinctly remember you saying we were moving on to shots, and yet you bring us more beers? You gotta do a better job than that.
Wow.
Right.
What the heck? This isn't my order.
What, did they give you sour straws instead of sour ropes? I specifically
No,
said...
it's just apples. Terry, you sick son of a bitch. Because I was MVP of my fast-pitch softball summer camp.
Wow. So,
Uh-oh.
yeah.
This is... Oh!
I should tail him and figure out what he's up to before he skips town.
You'll do no
Retaliation.
such thing.
I feel better. I had some floor pretzels. Let's switch places again.
Yes, 2 of us can outdrink that son of a bitch.
Nice to you, San Diego. All the best. Bottoms up. Well, now, what the hell am I looking at?
Nothing. Oops. We've been switching places for the last 2 hours and you didn't notice, so.
It's because I don't look at women's eyes when I'm talking to them. Now, what's going on?
You set up my husband. You're using him.
I was talking about taking your snacks. Oh, come on. What do you think broke the vending machine that got Detective Flat Top all riled up? Stole Detective Little Guy's candy shipment and swapped
Oh, wow.
Sergeant Muscle Guy's candy for seasonal fruit.
Your people.
Wow.
Yo, if I'm passionate about one thing, it's getting cops off without punishment. How dare you turn that into something dirty? Shame on you, both of you.
Jake. This is bad.
Are you drunk?
Oh, he thinks I'm drunk. What do I do?
British accent.
Smart. That'll fool him.
Yes, sir, quite drunk. Wankered, really.
What did you learn? Sullivan set up Peralta?
No, he didn't.
We gotta stop Jake.
How? We're too drunk to drive.
True, but we're not too drunk to pedal.
Jake, you're following an innocent man!
Hey, man! What are you doing here? What a weird coincidence.
Do a British accent.
You're both mad and disappointed.
I'm neither. I'm displeased.
Is that worse?
And you should be thankful you've never seen me huffy.
Well, you have every
Huffy.
right to be. I know I messed up.
You didn't do anything wrong.
What do you want, O'Sullivan?
This is Mel Jenkins, city attorney in charge of payoffs and bribes.
Not my title. I handle tort claims.
Cops, they gotta make split-second decisions in life or death situations, and they can't
Life
be
or
expected
death.
to get that 100% correct every single time.
This was not a life or death situation. Do you know what happens when you refuse to punish cops for their mistakes? It breeds a lack of trust in the community, and that lack of trust means people won't help us with our investigations, or testify, or even call us when they're in danger. It makes them more
Yeah.
scared of us.
I'm never
than
calling the
criminals
cops,
and
ever.
gangsters, which leads to more confrontation, more distrust. You wonder how Peralta can do his job when he's held accountable for his actions? I wonder how any of us can do our job if he's not.
I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
I made a mistake.
Holy let the record show that he didn't say anything specific.
I arrested a man without a sufficient probable cause in a case I was removed from. I'm very, very sorry.
Yeah, he has to be suspended. I'm sorry.
Oh, don't you start.
I learned a valuable lesson.
But things would be a lot better when a man doesn't have to lose his job for you to learn a lesson.
Yeah, fair enough. It was crazy when you got huffy.
So huffy.
I got scared.
Wow.
Later, Jimmy Fallon welcomes Camila Cabello.
It got so real for a second, and then they just went back to going on about the huffiness. Ah. Wow, they really hit us with an episode like this where we actually see one of our characters be a bad cop and actually focus in on it. And this episode definitely reminded me of an episode, I think at the end of season 1, Jake was following a guy who had ties to organized crime and the guy was claiming harassment. It was the episode when Jake had to intentionally get fired to work with the FBI. And so, yes, from season 1 till now, this show has definitely evolved in the type of story it's willing to tell. Back in season 1, Jake's overzealousness in going after that guy was seen as a good thing, a fight against corruption. But here in season 8, his overzealousness is a reminder of just how much the power the police hold and how easy it is to abuse it. And Jake, even after the wrongful arrest, he kept tailing the guy. Even after finding out he got him fired, he kept seeing things that weren't there, which actually is what happens with cops in the real world all the time. Thankfully, in this show, it's much more benign, as horrible as that sounds, because the guy still lost his job. But we've seen time and time again it resulting in the loss of people's lives. And I mean, some credit goes to Jake for doing the right thing. He made a mistake and he owned up to it. He never worked with O'Sullivan and took responsibility for what he did wrong in the end. So that's as much as you can expect from someone who has already made bad mistakes, is to own up to them and try not to make them in the future. And yeah, O'Sullivan kept trying to suppress the whole thing because Marzipan was involved. David Duke Marzipan. Jake was trying to be friendly and work with him. He didn't know his past, which honestly though, Jake should definitely be more careful who he associates with in the NYPD, given how much of the NYPD supported Trump. And also, it's been very well documented that white nationalists have a very strong presence in the police force and in the military. So be a little bit more skeptical before calling someone your friend, Jake. Yeah, O'Sullivan is so much the worst in so many ways. Threatening Amy, trying to blackmail Holt and Rosa with their sexualities. I mean, that is an HR, like, that is a fireable offense for sure. But I mean, they didn't get it on recording or anything, but it is freaking low, man. But Amy and Rosa's plan to get him to incriminate himself was hilarious. Amy got so drunk and then they switched places back and forth. He didn't even notice because he apparently doesn't look women in the eye when he talks to them. And then he's supposed to, he's like doing his best to suppress Peralta's account and confession of these events. And he's this guy who's so like just over the top, and he's supposed to be a parody of the worst kind of pro-police person possible. And it's just sad because in reality, it's not just a couple of individuals who think like this. And I mean, there are some exceptions in the police force, but as an institution, that's how all of this works. They do whatever they can, and anything they can cover up, they will. Back when there were no body cams or phone cameras, all they had to do was lie on their police report, and their version of events would be taken as truth. I mean, I've even seen instances where they were recorded in the recent past, and they still lie on the police report. So, yeah, zero trust in them. I really liked Holt's point that he made to O'Sullivan at the very end, though. If bad cops or cops who make bad decisions aren't held accountable, if there are no repercussions for bad policing, how is the community going to trust them? Why would you ever want to help them? And why would they ever want to call you? I mean, personally, I decided years and years ago that I'm never calling the police unless it's the very, very last option I have. And I've mentioned this after the first episode, but it bears repeating. I've had 3 interactions with cops, which I'm lucky enough that I've only had 3, but each one was worse than the last. First, they racially profiled my friend and assumed he stole a card he just bought, and I was sitting right next to him. They made up some bullshit excuse for why they stopped us when they couldn't find any evidence that the car was stolen, because it wasn't. Second time, they tried to frame me for a crime I didn't commit, so yeah, that was great. Thankfully, the judge threw out of court immediately. Third time, a guy got the police to intimidate me and my boss into paying him off. Just fucking bang up job the NYPD are doing. But yeah, I enjoyed this show before this season, even though it's propaganda, but it really has a sense of humor that I really, really enjoy. But I'm definitely liking this season a lot and how hard it is on the NYPD. And for me, this is probably the strongest episode of the season. It does seem like they're really opening up to the idea of Jake not being a cop by the end of the series, though, because even though he loves playing hero, working on solving the biggest and baddest cases, he's starting to realize how much of a villain he can be as well, just by being a cop. Plus, he gets to spend time with his kid, Mac, for 5 months, and so we'll see how that changes him as a person. And the way that suspensions work in the police force for something like this is typically paid. So, I mean, typically cops don't admit any wrongdoing, but it's very, very rare. And even in those cases, most of them still get paid. So I wonder if they're going to touch on that at all. But police unions are just way too powerful most of the time. But yeah, maybe some time away will change his perspective and maybe his friends' perspectives too. I mean, I know and they know that he didn't do this with like malicious intent and that he'll learn and be a better cop. But does that cause them to have any introspection about the things they've done as officers or detectives? Most of the introspection this season does seem to fall on Jake. But yeah, looking forward to the last 4 episodes of the series coming in the next 2 weeks. Subscribe so you don't miss them. Leave a like, really helps with the channel. full reactions on Patreon in the link in the description below. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week with more. Bye, friends.